Well, good evening everybody, welcome back to the plot, and I've got to say it's an absolutely fantastic evening here in the northeast. The sun's just starting to go down now, but it's a really beautiful evening, so I'm gonna make the most of it, and I'm gonna crack on with the raspberries. As I explained in an earlier video, this was the mother bed, and me and Roger have been working on it for the last 2 or 3 days now. We've completely emptied it, dug it all out. Not an easy job, because this was 8 years old, so there was some good strong roots in it. But with the help of a couple of forks and a spit, we've dug right down and completely cleared it out. Now what that bed now will become is pea and bean support, so we'll have probably a nice crop of French beans in there next year. What we have done this summer is we've let the runners that's come from the main bed, as you can see there, there's some lovely nice first year canes there. We've left them on. Normally we just chop them out, but as you can see they're a good 4 foot away from where the bed was. They've all been tied up, or they were tied up, and all they've had this year is a good handful of nitro chalk around them. Plenty of manure, because the beds are all well manured, so they're ready to be dug out, and we'll transfer them across to the new bed, which is going to be at this end of the garden, and hopefully we'll have a good 8 years or 10 years of cropping. As I say, the raspberries have been really well this year, so that's going to be the new position at that far end. We've managed to get a couple of beds done this morning and yesterday afternoon, with the weather being fine. A lot of rain last night, so we've kept off the garden today. These canes here, this is the second year now. These are all new canes. What we've done, we've cut out all the old ones, tied in the new ones. They're a primo cane. They're not like the autumn raspberry that crops from a first year rooting system. These are the primo ones. They work on like a 2-year system. You'll get the new shoots coming up next year, and we'll tie them in, and the ones that have cropped we'll cut out. So that's the way to treat them raspberries. As over there, another good bed, all tied in, nice and tidy. With the tops of them, I'll let them go until about the end of October, beginning of November. And I've just noticed one of the side raspberries has just broke away from its moorings, so I'll have to lash that back down, because the winds no doubt will snap that. We'll tie them in top and bottom, make them nice and strong, and then, as I say, about October time I'll come along and just crop the tops off them so they're nice and neat all the way along the top. As you can see on the bottom bed, that's just been replaced. They're brand new canes. We've dug them out and replanted them yesterday, so we'll give them a good water in, plenty of manure, nice deep bed, and hopefully we should get a nice crop of them next year. So I'm just about to dig another one out, and I'll try and explain in full. So what I like to do is get well down with a spit and try and get as much root as I can. And there's a great example there. And this, as I say, is just a first year cane. It's a double shoot on that one, so it can just be cleaned down. Now these, because we're going to plant them now, nice bit of soil in them. They'll go down a good 12 to 14 inches, right down to where they were in the soil. Tie them in, and these will fruit next year. We'll still get a small crop from them, even though we've dug them up and transplanted them. When you order your raspberries from the manufacturers, or from the market gardens and where they get them from, they'll be cut to this size, and all you'll get is a bare cane on the bottom. You'll plant that, it'll grow up, and you'll not get no fruit until the following season. But the way we do it, we like to get the canes to grow in the garden to a nice size, and as I say, transplant them around about beginning of October, before the winter gets too cold, and they'll just go straight back in the soil, and hopefully we'll crop from them next year. So that's another new bed, and as I say, they'll be cut out again next year, and the new canes will grow through again. But yeah, well pleased with them. We're going to get a good good couple of crops and a good couple of new beds next year. I'll just lie that down for the time being. As I say, we have been busy the last couple of days. We've been trying to get as much done as we can. There's some nice new canes there. We'll be digging them out tomorrow, and as I say, we'll be transplanting them over to the back end, out the road. But all we've got left in that bed now is parsnips. Good crop of parsnips. There's some beetroots down the bottom. As I say, all my baskets are down the bottom end there, just sitting out in the cold. Plenty of fresh air. I've got them tilted up on the side because, as I say, we use bags in our baskets, so the last thing I want to do is to have them flooded. So we'll tilt them up on the sides, and if there's any heavy rain, it'll just run down. You might be able to see these ones through here. We've got as I say, we're busy on with rebuilding my new fences, so we've got a pallet here we're stripping down. But that'll go up against the new fence. Another big job on the far corner here, that's our rhubarb bed. That's another big job to be done. So no doubt we'll carry on with that soon. Cut it in half, dig up and transplant a whole new bed. And hopefully we'll get some nice rhubarb from that next year. But yeah, things are going well at the moment. We're going to try and cram in as much as we can these next couple of days. We're focused for some heavy gales up here in the northeast over the weekend and some heavy rain. So we're going to get stuck in now and try and get these beds all finished off before the weather does turn bad on us. But yeah, for the time being, we're cracking on. Right, as I say, the sun's just starting to go down there. What I've been trying to do in the big tunnel is trying to get most of the chrysanths out. I've got a few out here that I've just been putting outside. They'll stop out here now till at least November. Most of them being cut down just to a single stem. But I'll take you through all that in the tunnel. As I say, they're just going to be sitting out here. And then at the end of October, I'll take them inside, clean them down, clean the roots down, put the stems down to where I want them, and the stools will be potted up with some nice fresh compost ready to go on the heat bed in January. But as I showed you in my last video, the chrysanthemums, I've been getting some fantastic blooms, really nice. I'm going to enter back into the shows again next year, so I'm looking around for a decent spot to build a new cover. Not so much a tunnel, but I think I'll just make an open framed tent style cover that I can take up, put up and take down over one or two of the beds. Reason being, I want to get the chrysanthemums under cover. I may be able to put them in here. I know there's potatoes going in here this year, and what will happen next year is we'll lift all the skirts on these. Plenty of fresh air through the tunnels, so I just might put a dozen chrysanthemums in there. I know it might be a bit warm for them, but we'll try it. And as if we've got an open bed on the outside here, covered with a bit of mesh, no doubt it'll not go to waste because we'll put some show leeks and some show onions under there. But that's what I plan for to finish off this year, is to get that frame built. Once we get this back fence up and get this finished, because we're getting there though, slowly but surely. But as I say, it's all work, it's all heavy work, and at the moment we're trying to get as much as we can done. But we'll get there. We're just taking it a bit at a time. We're not going to be hurried. As I say, the baskets, well, that's a good few of them there. Just nicely on edge, and if we don't get any heavy rains, well, all it's doing is just run off at the bottom. It's not going to do them any harm, and they'll sit there quite happily until I think it was about the 23rd of December when I put them in the bottom tunnel last year. So I'll have a look at me dates. Actually, I can go back onto one of my videos and see the date line on the camera, and that'll tell us exactly when I hung them. But I think it was a couple of days before the Christmas last year. As I say, Christmas Day is about the only day we get off from the allotment. A couple of years ago when we had the hens, we used to be up here every day, 365 days a year. We've got that opportunity to have Christmas Day off because I don't have any stock this year. Next year we're going to be having a look at getting my chickens back again because you know, we've missed them over the years. So we're going to have a try again and get a few hens back. Nothing better than having some nice fresh hen manure for the garden. But that's all in the future. But for the time being, I'm going to just shut this down and then we'll go inside and we'll have a look at the chrysanths in the tunnel. Right, well, here we are, back in the lower tunnel. As I say, the chrysanths have been the priority the last couple of weeks, trying to get these tidied up. We've got some nice show leeks here. We'll pot them up and ready for seed. A couple of nice onions, a blanch leek, and some nice big show leeks down at the bottom there. We've been really busy with the potting off. A load of wallflowers along there. A load of cauliflowers and a load of cabbage all ready to go in. So this bed's the next job, and I think this will be Saturday because we're focused for heavy rains on Saturday. So I think it's going to be a perfect time to get into the tunnel here and get started. Right, so as I say, with the chrysanthemums, well, I've had some really cracking blooms. This one being Liverpool Festival. They're really nice blooms. I've been well pleased with them. I haven't spent as much time as I would have liked this year, just budding and just generally keeping an eye on them, keeping them nice and clean. I have had a few problems with pests, but the rhubarb juice soon put that to right. So I hope to spend a lot more time on them next year, get them rooted early, get some nice strong plants, whether they go inside or out. We'll decide on that next year, and hopefully we'll get some nice blooms for the shows. But this is what they look like at the moment. And what will happen, I'll probably take this bloom off the night. I'll cut them down to about 18 inches and pull as much green off as I can, and then that'll just sit outside. As I say, the pots are outside here, quite happy sitting there till the end of October, beginning of November, quite happy. And then what I'll do is I'll bring them in, I'll empty them out, take the root out altogether, cut it down, as I say, take all the green out, and then I'll get it sterilised. Just a bit of sterilising fluid and some warm water, maybe a touch of GEOFF fluid, and the root and everything will be washed in that, and then it's all ready for going into trays for the heat benches. I will take some down home. I've got a heat bench down home built up in my small greenhouse. So these will probably end up in about an 9-inch black pot. Wash all the roots down nice and clean. Pop them up some nice fresh compost. It'll just be multi-purpose compost in sharp sand. Plenty of sharp sand because they hate sitting in wet soils. Like a good free draining soil. So the stools will sit in there, and then hopefully we'll get some nice fresh cuttings around about end of January, beginning of February. I'll take you all through that. As I say, I'll do a video on the cuttings. The same as with the dahlias. The dahlias will be coming up soon. So I think what we'll do is we'll make another video. I'll keep a couple of these chrysanths back as they are in their vegetative state, and then what I'll do is I'll do a video with a chrysanth stool and with a dahlia stool both at the same time, and I'll show you how I deal with mine. Clean them down and store them, put them away ready for the winter. As I say, it's a beautiful evening up here in the northeast there. There's lots to be done. So we're going to leave these little jobs until the weather does turn wet and windy and cold, and as I say, we're kind of getting in the garden. So we're much better off leaving these jobs till then. But yeah, I'm well pleased with them this year. That's been another good one this year. That's done really well. And that one's the white Billy Bell. It's been a nice whitening curve. So as I say, they wouldn't be any good for the show bench this year. But the wife's been well pleased with them. Some lovely blooms for the house, and that's what it's all about. It's just it's getting some nice flowers. They're not a hard plant to look after. If you are going to show them, there is a lot of work that goes into them. But as I say, I'm hoping to get a bit more free time next year that I can spend on them. There's 2 or 3 different types of chrysanthemum. You can get the hardy chrysanthemum for the garden. Once you put that in, you don't have to dig that up. You can leave that in, and that'll come away year after year. You just cut it back, cut it down, cut all the old stems out when it's just flowered. And as I say, they are autumn flower. They'll flower right through the autumn flowers. So beautiful golds, yellows, reds. But these are the early in curves, and of course they do need a bit of protection. And so that's why I'm going to build a frame for them outside for next year, or put them in the lower big tunnel where there'll be plenty of fresh air. The skirts will be up, and I'm sure they'll grow away quite happily in there. Down at the bottom here, there's a lot of green new growth coming on, but I'll deal with all that in the next video when I start stripping the plants down, ready for the winter, and I'll do a new video on them and get them all ready, all boxed up, ready for the heat bed in the new compost, and we'll do a new video on that, possibly in about 4 weeks time. So that's going to be around about the end of October. But yeah, well pleased with them. What lots to do, as I say, the leeks are now in seed. They're well potted up. I just did a tad of water on them, not much, and they'll sit out the whole winter in here in the lower tunnel. There's no heating on whatsoever. The nets are up. I'm going to take away this back end next week with polythene. I'm going to take away that skirt, so it's completely open right on the bottom here. And what's going in here is, of course, is a spring cabbage. So hopefully I'm going to do this this Saturday. It all depends on the weather. If the weather forecasters get it right, then we do get them peels in the rain, and then this is where I'll be spending my Saturday. In here, I'll get the spring cabbages in. I'll get a few all year round cauliflowers in, and then what I want to do is start feeding some of these wallflowers. They're in here chilling off, so I'm going to leave these in for a fortnight, and hopefully by then it'll be just nice for planting outside in the middle of October. But that's another video and another job. So, well, for the time being, thanks for watching, and we'll see you all again on the plot soon.